Okay, I've been tearing down some monitors and TVs, LCD, LED TVs and monitors lately. Got some boards over here from a couple that I took apart earlier. I'm going to throw this on fast, speed up the playback speed for you guys so that you don't have to watch too much of this, but that's all I'm doing today is breaking down these TVs. I need to make space in my shop. I got more stuff to break down here, more stuff to break down over here. Computers, monitors, printers. Computers are over here. Lots of stuff to break down. I picked up a bunch of stuff, so that's what I'm working on mainly right now, is breaking down stuff so that I can clear space in the shop, get all the plastic and steel out of here, and just have the electronics to worry about. I'll be depopulating boards in the next week or two, and then I've got a bunch of gold processing that I need to do as well. Just to give you an idea, this is all the ribbon stuff from all of the TVs I've been breaking apart. I'm not sure that there's anything in these, but I've got a feeling that there's a little bit of gold, if nothing else. Some of them are off of plasma TVs, and I can see that there appears to be gold in the fingers on the glass here around the edge, and I've got a feeling that these wires in here may have some gold content in them as well. May not be much gold, but I just got a feeling that there is some in there, and so I'm going to try and figure out what to do with these later. But yeah, I'm just collecting all of them for now, and we'll process them all at some point. So like I said, I'm going to throw you on fast so that we can go through these as fast as possible. But yeah, I've got about 8 more over there that I need to take care of, just to get where I can actually get to the blast cabinet so that I can depopulate boards. And then I've got all of these over here, which is probably about another, I don't know, 15 to 20 mid to small size LED and LCD monitors and TVs. And then I know I've got one larger plasma up under here as well. I've got a couple, one more plasma outside that I need to break down. I'll break those down on camera so you can see them. You know, they're like the old tube TVs. They're obsolete and, you know, becoming extinct items. So if you come across one, it's interesting to see what's inside. But I'm going to take apart a bunch of LED/LCD screens right now, and there is one. I'll probably slow it down or talk about it at the end, one or the other, about some of the things that are in here that you may not consider to be valuable, that may have value if you get them to the right places. Okay, so given that, let's get on through this. Yes, hold on. Sure, what? Okay, so that's all taken apart now. What did we get? I kept this little piece because it's got brass nubs in here. I'll come back for those later. We got boards with nice chips on them, crystal oscillators, gold pins in here, gold pins in here, other items on that board, but you know, those are the main things. Again, gold in the chip, crystal oscillators, gold pins in these guys here, some copper bearing items as well on this one. This one's got a nice piece of aluminum on there, copper, some more chips of some kind, tactile buttons which will have a little bit of silver in them, gold pins in these guys, chips, gold pins, probably some gold pins in these guys. This is a power board, so it's got mainly copper on it, a little bit of aluminum. Steel, yep, that's steel. Okay, chips, oscillator, a little bit of copper on this, gold pins over here, gold pins over here. Gold pins along here. This board actually looks like it's flashed in gold with the chip in there, so I'm going to set it aside to go through another process. This one's got primarily copper on it, it's power board. This one, gold pins in here, chip, oscillator, more gold pins here. That's copper. This one I need to pull the plate off of. Yeah, and this one's hiding. Where are my steps? No, not sure I'm going to be able to get to everything, but we got BGA here, BGA crystal oscillator, gold pins in here, ribbon cables. Ribbon cables often have a little bit of gold on the ends. Sometimes it'll be silver, sometimes not. This one, chips, BGAs, and gold pins again. These guys that everybody loves have gold flashing all over it, have chips on it, and as I said, I keep all these foils. They may have gold on them as well. I'm going to do an experiment to find out if they do or not. But these boards will get processed with gold bearing items. And for that one, I got a lot of other stuff here. Speakers, when I pull these out, they go straight into steel. Don't worry about them. Let's see. Got the ribbon cables. These kind of connectors have gold plating on the pins again, so look out for those. Okay, so I'm going to get cleaned up down here and we'll see what I can find. Of course, you got all the wires that will have copper in them, but we'll figure out all this here shortly. Light strips, LED light strips. Supposedly each of these LEDs has a little gold wire in it, so I'm not sure how I'm going to get that yet, but I say set these aside. These kind of LED light strips as well. Supposedly every one of these has a small gold wire in it. So I think that's everything right now. I'll come back once I've got all this process condensed down, and we'll see what we got from those TV / monitors. Okay, have a good one. I almost forgot what I was going to talk about, other items that may have value. So a lot of the newer monitors and TVs, you'll have these diffusion grids in front of, in front of the LCD or behind the LCD, one or the other. I forget where it is. I think it's behind actually. So these are diffusion grids. If you put a light source behind them, it does some interesting things to it. This one here looks like it's very silvery. It's got one side that's very got a dusty pattern, and the other side looks very almost like a rainbow effect going on in it. Another diffraction grid. This was an opaque one that's behind everything. This is what makes everything glow, the same. And then this, I believe, is acrylic, and it's got a grid on it. This is good for potentially laser cutting, or with a CNC router, being able to make materials out, or make things out of it. And you're going to hear me start talking about a certain word here a lot, and that is Greeblies. Greeblies are items that Star Wars aficionados, room builders, love to put on items that make them look like they're coming out of the Star Wars universe. So this is something that the Star Wars aficionados, room builders, actually have a lot of uses for things like this. And we always say that the scrap value is the lowest amount, the lowest value that you can get for anything. If you can resell it in a finished form to a crafter, or to this man that I found that I believe works. I haven't tested it yet. If this works, it's worth 30 bucks. If I scrap it, I might get what, 5 cents, 10 cents? Not much in here. That's the kind of thing that you want to look for, is if you can repurpose it, resell it, do so. If you can repurpose it, do so. Scrap it last. These are scrap, but they may have a repurpose use as well. So be aware of that. I'll talk more about Greeblies in the near future. So have fun, guys. Okay, so what did we wind up with after everything was said and done? We wound up with 4 power boards that have some copper, some aluminum, and that's about it on them. Low-grade power boards. We wound up with 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 boards that have some gold recovery items on them. That includes gold pins in the USB and HDMI connectors, flat packs, BGAs, etc. as well as gold plating on some of these pins here and here. All of them will also have a crystal oscillator on them. Some of them will have a little bit of aluminum on them, maybe a little bit of copper if they've got the power board built into them. But all of them will have, you know, roughly the same thing. A little bit of gold here, a little bit of gold here, a little bit of gold here. So we got those boards. Then we got the higher grade, excuse me, move you out of the way. The higher grade boards, these have some gold plating on the pins here. Nice chip here, and then we've got gold flashing on the board itself. Gold flashing here as well. I don't know if I can get that off right now. And we may need to strip this board down to see if there's any additional gold plating on here as well. And then, of course, you've got all the standard finger boards, as they call them, or whatever you want to call them. Typically have a at least one chip on them. Gold plating on all these fingers here. Gold plating on the back as well. Gold plating along here. And again, we may need to strip this board to see if it's completely gold plated or if it's not. It could be copper up under there. And of course, some gold plating pins in here as well. These boards, like I said, are kind of the holy, you know, the main item that everybody is after in these guys. There'll be various qualities, various amounts of gold. Some of them only have 2 connections to the board. Some of them have, you know, 20 connections to the screen, I should say. So, you know, that's the main part of the gold that comes out of these types of TVs is this. We've got a handful of small boards that will have tactile switches and things of that nature on them. This looks like it was a Wi-Fi card. A couple little gold nubs on, or gold plating on these antenna receivers. Some of the tactiles are very low key. But they'll have a tiny bit of silver in each one of them. So some of them are better than others. These guys, not sure if you can see this. These are ribbon wires that the plating on it appears to be silver. I don't know if that is actually silver or if it is some other metal, but it does not appear to be gold. Few of those, typically those are running to the lower, you know, it's not where data is being transferred so much. I've mainly found those running to the LED strips and those kinds of things where it needs power, but it doesn't need as good of a quality of connection as the gold ones do. Which brings me to the next one, which is the gold-plated fingers on the ends of the ribbon cables and gold plating on the ends of these guys. Some of them are ribbon cables, some of them are wired cables like this one. So you can see the gold plating there with the tiny wires coming off of it. That's another good area of gold recovery. These guys, as I said, I don't know if there's anything in them. There's something, I mean, obviously there's something in this little wafer type thing here that every single one of these things have. They're connected to the LCD as well as these fingerboards. So there may be trace amounts of gold on these as well. And for all we know, the amount of material that's in this, because I mean it is, you know, minuscule amounts in terms of the thickness, but this could all be gold flashing in here as well, in terms of what's connected to the fingers as well as what's connected to the screen over here. Some of them, when you peel them off, you'll actually be able to see, I think I can see a little bit of gold on that one, for example. Not sure if the camera is going to pick it up, but when you peel it off, sometimes there'll be a little bit of gold left on these as well, which is another reason that I want to try and process these and see if I can get anything out of them. So these guys all go in this bucket for now. once I've filled or gone through all the TVs that I have, TVs and monitors that I have, that's when I'll process all these. I'm actually putting all of these in here right now as well. Just for convenience sake, I'll process all of them at the same time. These guys will actually just go into copper chloride to be separated. That's just a piece of plastic. And these guys, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just tossing them all in here at the time. I'll sort them out later once I get ready to process them. And the silver ones, I'm going to try. I don't know if I should bother trying to see if that's white gold, which I doubt, or just process it and assume that it's silver, and see if I can't get the little tiny bit of silver out of it. If I do that, I'm going to need a lot more of those fingers before I get any measurable amount. These guys will go into a separate area that I've got for gold-plated items, so that they can be processed for the gold recovery. These guys will all go through the blaster case over there, media blaster, so that I can depopulate these boards entirely and then go through and sort them. These guys will actually also go through the same box that I have for this, so that I can, I consider these to be a little bit higher quality than these guys, so I try to process them in batches such that I'm able to keep track of what I'm pulling off. So anyway, have a good one, guys. I'm going to end it there for the day, and we will see you next week.